My name is Lisa, and I'll be the one presenting the webinar today called Test Your Skills, Grammar Skills. Okay, so grammar, the study of words, how they are used in sentences, and how they change in different situations. If we have a firm grasp on grammar concepts, it makes our job much easier to fix grammar in dictated reports. And having great grammar skills is the difference between a good medical transcriptionist and a great one. So let's begin the test. So question 1, I could blank to the store yesterday. So you see the 4 options of gone or have went or of went. So I could have gone to the store yesterday. I could have gone to the store yesterday. I could have went to the store yesterday. I could have went to the store yesterday, and of went to the store yesterday. Okay, so the correct answer is B. Gone is a past particle of the word go and has to follow an auxiliary verb, which is, in other words, a helping verb, such as have. So the word went will never follow an auxiliary verb. It is just the past tense of go. So never use the word of when meaning have. So if I go back, you see, it should be I could have gone to the store yesterday. Next question, for blank was the message intended for? So for who was the message intended for, or is it for whom was the message intended for? Well, let's see. The answer is B. Use whom when referring to the object of the clause. So here's a tip. When you can replace or answer the question with him, as I did in this sentence, you will use whom. So you have to put it as a question. So the message was intended for him. So that makes sense. So the answer should be whom. Let's go back here. See, for whom was the message intended for? So if you switch it around and say the message was intended for him, whom and him go together, okay? But now if you switch that around like that and it didn't make sense, then it would have been who. Okay, question number 3. The blank advised the students of the blank goal of the student committee. And here are your 4 choices. The principal advised the students of the principal goal of the student committee, or the principal advised the students of the principal's goal of the student committee, or, and notice the different spellings of principal as well, okay? Principal advised the students of the principal goal of the student committee. So just pay attention to principal, how it's spelled. There's 2 spellings of it in each sentence. So you have to figure out which spelling of principal would be correct. Okay. So the correct answer is C. And the reason being principal, P-R-I-N-C-I-P-A-L, means the person with the highest authority. It also means first in order of importance, like main. Principal, P-R-I-C-I-P-L-E, is normally used as a noun meaning a basic idea or belief that influence actions. Example, the basic principle is that those who work hard will be rewarded. So let's go back and so you can see the answer C. There's the answer. So the principal, Principal, advised the students of the principal, same one again, goal of the student committee. And you can find that too in the book of style. Appendix, well, if you're on, you have the 3rd edition of the book of style, it's Appendix C on sound-alike words. If you're using the 4th edition, then it's Appendix B for sound-alike words, just so you know. Question number 4, you are more likely to win blank, lose. So you are more likely to win than lose, THAN, or you are more likely to win than lose, THEN. So I'll give you a second to think about that, or maybe 2 seconds. So you have to pick the correctly spelled then for that, for the context of that sentence. So the correct answer is A. And then, THEN refers to next or at that time. THAN is used to indicate comparison. So A, correct answer. Okay. And you can write down that explanation if you want, or whatever. Okay, question number 5. The teacher blanked the student on her presentation. So would it be A or B for compliment it? Sounds the same, but spelled and meaning 2 different meanings. And again, you can find these sound-alike words in your book of style. If you're ever unsure and you come across sound-alike words. So the answer is B. Compliment, C-O-M-P-L-I-M-E-N-T, means to express admiration or praise, and compliment, C-O-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T, is something that completes or makes perfect. Okay. So you can either write that down or, like I said, sound like words. So here. Everybody get that? So the answer was B. So question number 6, the car was blank away from the office than we originally thought. So A, you have the car was further, F-U-R-T-H-E-R, away from the office than we originally thought, or B, the car was farther, F-A-R-T-H-E-R, away from the office than we originally thought. So I'll give you a minute to think about that. Okay, the answer is B. Farther, F-A-R-T-H-E-R, refers to length or distance, where further, F-U-R-T-H-E-R, refers to additional or a non-physical distance. So I'll go back again so you can see it. So the answer was B. Okay, so let's choose the grammatically correct sentence. Okay, so you can see the 2 or 3, sorry, sentences. that shows different wording, different verbs, and plurals, you know, in other words, singular or plural verbs. So you have to decide whether none of the dessert was left by the end of the birthday party, or none of the dessert were left by the end of the birthday party, or none of the desserts was left by the end of the birthday party. So just remember your subject verb agreement. Okay, let's see. The answer is A. None of the dessert was left by the end of the birthday party. See, the subject is dessert, which singular. So was is a singular verb. So you have your subject verb agreement. Whereas C and B, none of the desserts were. Well, dessert is singular, were is plural. So it does, you don't have a subject verb agreement going on there. And the same with C. You have desserts, which means, you know, just that, plural, more than one, but was is a singular verb. So again, the subject verb agreement incorrect. Okay. Number 2, again, same thing. You have to pick the sentence that is grammatically correct. So some of the class is willing to take part in the prank. Some of the classes is willing to take part in the prank. Some of the class are willing to take part in the prank. Or D, some of the classes has been willing to take part in the prank. So I'll give you a minute to read those over and think about it. There's your answer. A, some of the class is willing to take part in the prank, because again, subject verb agreement. When you're talking class, they're talking just one class, right? And is, of course, is singular. So you have your subject verb agreement. Where in B, they're saying class is, so they're talking more than one class. So therefore is wouldn't be right. It should be classes are willing if you're going to have a plural subject classes. And of course, C, they have classes singular, and are, again, that's plural. So you don't, the subject don't agree with the verb. And classes has been, that isn't right either. So subject verb agreement right there. Okay, so number 3, 1/4 of the voters tend not to cast their ballots in national elections, or 1/4 of the voters tends not to cast their ballots in national elections. C, 1/4 of the voters tend not to cast its ballots in national elections. And D, 1/4 of the voters tend not to cast its ballot in national elections. Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. At first I thought there was 2 sentences there the same until I noticed the difference. Okay. They're all different. So I'll give you a minute there to check them all out and see. Okay. So A is the correct answer. 1/4 of the voters tend not to cast their ballots in national elections. Number one, the voters, you don't want voters tens, two plurals beside each other, like two plural words. So voters, and of course there is correct. Okay, because that, they're talking about ownership there. So here you have two plurals side by side, and I mean, you'll probably find an exception to that rule, but overall, you shouldn't have two plural words beside each other like that. It isn't grammatically or considered grammatically correct. Okay. Now this one, its ballots, no, that it should, the word its shouldn't even be there. It should be there to start with. So those two you can automatically get rid of right off the bat. And then of course here, like I said, just seeing that right there, then that eliminates that. So there's what you have left, which is correct. So, okay, number 4, here is the glue sticks you requested. Here's, with an apostrophe, S, the glue sticks you requested. Here are the glue sticks you requested. Here are the box of glue sticks you requested. So I'll just give you a minute to look at those and think about them. Okay. And the trick too is a lot of times you have to pick out the subject and the verb. Make sure they agree. So C is the correct one. Here are the glue sticks you requested. So the subject is glue sticks, which is plural. And of course the verb are is plural. So you have your subject verb agreement. Because see here, that you would expand that to here is plural or singular, I mean, and so you don't have the subject verb agreement going on there. Right. And same explanation, because like I said, here's, would be expanded to that. Or if you expand it, it would be the singular verb is. So, and here it changes up because now it's when you add box of glue sticks, well, then that becomes the subject, and that is singular. So this verb are, which is plural, that's what would make that sentence incorrect. Okay. I mean, it's tricky all at first to for it to figure out, but once you get the hang of figuring out, especially the subject of the sentence, then it's pretty easy to figure out, as long as you know are is plural, is singular, was is singular, were is plural. Once you get that figured out and stuff, then it comes pretty easily. Okay, 5. It is us who must decide whether to budget ourselves or cut spending, or it is whom must decide whether to budget ourselves or cut spending. It is we who must decide whether to budget ourselves or cut spending. Or D, it is we who must decide whether to budget ourselves or cut spending. So I'll just give you a moment to read those over. decide which one is correct. Okay, let's see here. A is correct. It is us who must decide whether to budget ourselves or cut spending. What do you have that? Because if you replace who with the word he, that fits. Because you wouldn't say his must decide whether to budget ourselves, but you can exchange who for he and say must decide whether to budget ourselves or cut spending. Okay. 6. The school policy will not allow me to accept a gift worth more than $50. So now you have the difference is the word accept. Sound alike words. So would it be ACCEPT or EXCEPT? Let's see. A, of course, the school policy will not allow me to accept a gift worth more than $50. And again, you can go to the sound alikes and it'll give you a definition of what both of these mean. So accept something is just that. You accept a gift and you know, but accept, EXCEPT, well, that means an exception. Like you're not accepting something, anyway, it's just the opposite. It has good definitions in the sound alike, so if you're ever mixed up on sound alike words, always check it out, just to be sure. Okay, from time to time, the effects of our generosity make a difference. From time to time, our generosity affects others and makes a difference. So, of course, what you're looking for is effects, the sound alike word effects. And oh, I goofed. Sorry, people. I didn't give you much of a chance. I didn't mean to scroll up or down, whatever I did there. I wanted to give you time to figure out which sentence is correct. Okay. So as you can see, C is correct. And once again, if you want a definition, you can easily look that up. And I suggest always look up sound alike words unless you're absolutely sure of the correctly spelled word for the context of the sentence, then fine. But any doubt at all, just take that minute or two to look it up. Okay. Everyone else was late, but my wife and I were already at the restaurant. Or everyone else was late, but my wife and I were already at the restaurant. So the word you're looking for is already. Would you have it 2 words or the 1 word? So 2 words already or 1 word already. E is the correct one. The 1 word. That is probably the most widely used is already. That is the the most correct in grammar for pretty well every sentence out there. The patient uses a stationary bike for exercise, and as you can see, there's sound-alike words for stationary. And I find a lot of students get this one wrong. It is in a couple of reports. So and let's see if you're right. Let's see. It's A, stationary, that ends in ARY. Because the ERY, that means something that you're writing on, paper that you're writing on, where stationary, ARY, is something that is stuck in that place, like it doesn't move, in other words. Principal diagnosis is cardiomyopathy. And notice the principal is spelled differently. And I notice quite a few students get this mixed up as well. So this one you definitely want to, because you'll come across that. So that would be a good one to write down. So PAL or PLE? Let's see. It's PAL. Diagnosis is cardiomyopathy. And I explained above there when we first started the webinar, 2 or 3 or whatever questions into it. But however, it's in the sound-alike section of your book style. So the teacher complimented Lisa on her excellent presentation. So of course it's the complimented that the sound-alike words. And let's see. B, of course, the PLI is the correct spelling for that sentence. Okay. All of the parents did not believe any of their stories, or all the parents did not believe any of their stories. See how you have 3 different theirs, 3 different spellings. So which sentence has the correctly spelt the word there? You probably all did this pretty quickly. Okay, let's see here. And of course it's A, THEIR, because that spelling means ownership, like where there, that just means something like, he went over there to pick up his shoe or something like that. And of course, anytime that you see THEY apostrophe RE, in other words, they are. So that wouldn't make sense. All the parents did not believe any of their they are stories, right? So if you expand that to they are, and it doesn't make sense, so that would definitely, that's how you would know if that makes sense in a sentence. If you expand it to they are and it doesn't sound right at all, then cross that off right away. The downtown district was further away than we thought. Testing you again on the further and versus farther. The downtown district was farther away than we thought. Might even been the same question. I don't know. Anyway, I'm retesting you if it is. So further versus farther. FUR versus FAR. The downtown district was farther, FARTHER, away than thought. And there's an explanation for that at the beginning of the webinar. Okay, so Lisa should have known better than to act like that. Of course, I would know better. Or Lisa should have known better than to act like, oh. Sorry, people. I got the same thens in there and I wasn't. I gotta, okay, I gotta. Oh, I can't change it. Darn. I will change that. Everybody ignore that because I'm going to make this into a PDF document. Guess I should have proofread it a little better. Anyway, it would be THAN is the correct one, not TH.
Hi, sorry, it's about the have and the of, not the then.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Thank you very much. Who was that? Okay, they don't want to tell me. All right.
It was me, Mary. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Mary. It just went out of my head altogether. Thank you for that. Oh my God, because I got looking at it again and I thought, no, that shouldn't be THEN either. So, okay, here, let me back this up. I totally confused you. See, I shouldn't have acted like that. So Lisa should have known better than to act like that, or Lisa should have known better than to act like that. That's right. It's have versus of. And of course, correct is have. Because that doesn't even make sense, right? Like Lisa should have known better. Lisa should have known better. Yeah, it's kind of awkward. Okay, so here's some more. The third boat on the block to sell was theirs. And see, theirs and ours took 2 months longer. So that is what you have to look for. These. Theirs and ours. I'll just give you a minute to read them. Okay. So the bottom one is the correct one. Because if you said the third boat on the block to sell was there is our is took 2 months longer, that makes absolutely no sense, right? And same with the second one, the third boat of the block to sell was theirs, which is fine, but then goes on to say our is took 2 months longer, right? Because with that apostrophe, that means that you would, you know, expand it to our is. And when you do that, it doesn't make sense. But here without the apostrophes, because it wouldn't expand to their is or our is, it's just theirs and ours. So in this one, the word it's, okay, it's not its most functional part, or it's not its most functional part, it's not its most functional part, and same thing. So I'll give you a minute to figure that out. Okay. E. So in other words, you'd say it is not its most functional part, which sounds good. Okay, so here's some nouns or pronoun tips that I thought I would throw in there for everyone. So when the subject of a sentence is composed of two or more nouns or pronouns connected by and, use a plural verb. So for example, he and his friends are at the park. Okay. Or when two or more singular nouns or pronouns are connected by or nor, use a singular verb. For example, the crayon or the pen is in the drawer. And when a compound subject contains both a singular and a plural noun or a pronoun joined by or nor, the verb should agree with the part of the subject that is nearer the verb. Okay, so the girl or her friends run every day. Or if it said her friends or the girl runs every day. Okay. So that there's, just good tips to keep in mind, because sometimes it does certainly get confusing when you do have, two or more nouns and pronouns and stuff like that in a sentence, in the same sentence. It can get confusing for sure. So hopefully that tip there will help you. And of course, I hope that you had a few aha moments during this webinar. Besides saying, oh, aha, Lisa freaked out. Let me get out of here. Now I can see. Okay, some people are still trying to get in late to the party. Okay. All right, everyone. So that was the webinar. I hope you all enjoyed it. What I will do is I will make it into a PDF document, as I usually do most of the webinars that I do. So that way there, you'll be able to download it and refer to whatever you want, or look at it and write down, whatever information you'd like, or to test yourselves again at some point, or, whatever the case may be. I don't know when it will be downloaded, because I don't think on the YouTube page they can download PDF documents, just the webinar itself. So if you want the PDF document, you can, so she can see her comments at the moment. I have the chat box open. I can see what you are saying. Yep, I can see. I just, the reason why it doesn't look like that, because I'm still sharing my screen. That's why. Can you show the answers to question 11 again, please? Oh, okay. Just 1 second here. Question 11. Let's see. Oh, did I skip? Oh, I must have skipped right through that one. All of the parents did not believe. Oh, no, I didn't. So, oh, it was 11 you said, right? So there's question 11. And it would be the LI. complement it. Is that the one, Jody? Well, it has to be. I think that's the only 11 I have. Anyway, so if you want, you're welcome. What's this one? Number 5-2, please, when Jody's done. Oh, okay. You can always email me if you would like a copy of the PDF document. I think there's 2 question 5s. There's this one. Oh, wait, no, that's 6. There's 5. Or is it the other 5? Is that the right one, Lucianne? Okay, great. Anyway, you can email me and I can provide you with the PDF document. Okay. Or you can even, well, reach out to any of the instructional team, because I can, what I'll do is I'll just give them a copy of the PDF document as well. So that way there, you know, you don't have to wait for me to be around or respond or whatever. Oh, did I frig up something? Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Answer 5. Is it this one here, right? Let me look at my chat again. We who must decide. Oh, goodness. Oh, so you're saying, oh, well, thank you, ladies. See, this is testing, right? I did that on purpose, just so you know. Oh, didn't. I'm on now. Don't be like that. Better? Or C? I thought you said pick on B. I didn't even read it, honest to God. C. It is we who must decide whether to budget ourselves or cut spending. It is he must decide whether, oh, yep, great catch. Thank you for that. Great catch. Pixie yippee. Worser. Is that a word? Nah, shouldn't be. Worser. 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 Any other questions, ladies? I have to take grammar and style all over again. Well, Mary, I'm telling you. You're welcome, Lucianne. Thank you. It is, I mean, I am old school, old school. And there was so many through the years of added rules and changes. And of course, medical transcription is, of course, a little different as well, because you have to allow the dictators keep their style of dictating, So you have to keep in mind that you can only make like subject verb agreement changes and in plurals, but other than that, yeah, these clipped sentences and that sort of thing, you just have to accept it. Oh, now, Lucianne, you're just showing off. Let's see. Would you say the last slide? He and his friend are at the park. Let's see here. He and his friend. What question is that? The very last one you said? Okay, let's see here. He and his friend. It's funny how that is showing up. I had put on there to ignore because, I mean, it would be obvious then what the correct answer would be. Should I go? Okay, Lucianne, which question? He and his friends are at the park. Yeah. 45. Okay. Oh, 45. No. Try again. I can't tell. Nope. Second last slide. Well, here's the second last slide. No. And no. 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 No.
Number 47.
47. Oh, I was looking through the. Okay, so what am I changing it to here to make it clearer for you? What did you say would make it clearer for you? He and his friend are at the park. He and his friends are at. What about it? Make the last slide clear. The example of two nouns with and. He and his friend. So what do you want me to put in there? Instead of he and his friends, he and his friend. Oh. He and his friend. Anyway, I will check it over anyway, Lucianne, just to make sure everything is correct. That's what happens. See, there's a lesson learned. Proofread. I didn't do it. I'm guilty. I did not do it. Okay. You're very welcome. And like I said, reach out. Thanks, Patty. You too.